Alright. You. Yes, you. Are you also tired of being bad? Are you also tired of being a pleb at using the Beetle? I have it on very good authority. I've heard whispers on the grapevine that only 0.192% of players, I'm not exaggerating, know how to use the Beetle. Even though the Beetle is the most, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, the most well-designed mount that we have in this game. So, if you are indeed tired of being a forum warrior, fighting the fight to completely diminish any sense of achievement and make every achievement into a participation trophy, then fear no more. You have come to the right place. No longer will we be keyboard warriors, not in that sense I guess, at least. We will be Beetle racers. Jokes aside, Beetle Racing 101. I want to teach you guys how to use the Beetle, what the Beetle's mechanics are, what some of the intricacies are, and how you use that to get the Mad Drifter, the original and the best Mad Drifter, the sub 1 minute run. So first we're gonna go over, I'm gonna kill the music here, because that was a kind of a mistake. We're gonna go over the different details, Beetle 101, and then we're gonna go through the Mad Kings race, the Mad Raceway, step by step, so that you can stop being a pleb. Anyhow, so a lot of you guys may know peripherally what the Beetle does and what it can do. I'm just gonna fill you in really shortly. The Beetle can boost and it can drift. Those are the two main things. But for the boosts, you need access to endurance. And the most important thing to always keep in mind is your endurance gain and usage. Now, the Beetle has a few ways of recuperating some endurance. One of those ways is simply hitting obstacles. This is a very recent change. This means basically if I use all of my boosts, thank you for reminding me to kill that, thank you. Basically if you use your boost right into a wall, you recoup some energy. That is a really bad example here. Let me get out of the drift real quick first. So, hey, the thing is, the Beetle will usually, here we go, alright, so if I boost right into the wall, we get about 40% recuperation of, or regain of the endurance. That's normal. Now that's scalable. You don't have to hit a wall directly, you can just like graze a wall, which means if you're drifting into a wall, if you come by and you drift and you hit the wall, whoa, you will recoup that endurance. This is very important for the Beetle race, for the Mad Kings Raceway. Now, another way of regaining is actually drifting. Drifting will give you just a slight bit of extra endurance. So, just to show off a little bit, the way that drifting works is that there is a secondary button. It's by default bound to the C button, I believe. Now, this secondary button does not need to be held down all the time. You need to press it when you're drifting, and when you want to let go, when you want to go in the right direction, you let go of the button, and the Beetle continues in that direction, which means you can make extremely fast, extremely sharp turns. Just to give you a bit of an overview here, let me get into the more open area down here. Another little trick here while we're in the air is if you wait all the way to the bottom to use your style skill, you won't actually get knocked off the Beetle. If you use your style skill, like the pressing the button, the space bar, you do like a little trick thing. You regain energy because it's like airtime, super interesting. But if you actually wait till the very end and you just hit the bottom while you are in that trick, you don't take any damage. Anyways, drifting. Drifting can be done basically endlessly. As long as you have speed, you can always just drift. Now, I'm not actually holding down the button here. What I'm doing is I'm slowly tapping the C button. So let me let me actually speak this out loud. Right? So right now, here, C, C, C down, up, C down, up. You can do these crazy, very fast drifts around very sharp corners by just letting go of the button. C down and up, and just release. Release is so important. That will allow you to just do very fast consecutive drifts, which is extremely important when it comes to beetle raising, actual beetle raising. Right. That's the basics basically. I think actually I made a little bit of a doozy. So here, airtime. When you get into the air, you can press the space bar. The longer you hold it down, the more energy you regain. Now you don't really want to use that on like flat surface like this, because unless you have a good jump, that energy is going to get penalized and you will lose just as much as you've gained. So to try to give a, let me find a jump. I think there is a good one that I remember all the way up here-ish. There we go. Hey! You hold it down, see all that energy, and drift immediately right into the back. 100. You can easily do a 180 degree drift. Well, once you get the hang of like letting go of your C button, you get so much more maneuverability to the drifts that you can go in like sharp, very sharp directions. Anyways, we have the Beetle 101 down. I hope that kind of made sense. We got drifting, we've got sharp drifts, we've got airtime, and we have got hitting walls for extra endurance. Right. With all that in mind, let us go to the raceway. Let us go to the raceway here. Now, I'm actually not gonna show you in game here. I'm going to show you my. I was about to say my best race. But that is actually not my best race, because right after I'd fucking recorded this one, I beat the time again. So, anyways, this is a 49 second and 49.92 second run. I think that's it, or 49.6. Anyways, we're gonna watch this in real time, and then we're gonna watch it in slow motion afterwards. And I'm gonna go through every single nook and cranny of this little Mad Kings Raceway, so that by the end of this, you understand just how insanely good and well designed the Beetle is and the Beetle race is. Right, real time. Now I'm doing a little tricky thing there where I start a little bit early, just slightly ahead of the flagpole. You don't have to do that actually. The Beetle has an immensely fast acceleration, to the point where you can really just stand on the marker on the flagpole initially and boost and then press play at the very end. I just like that extra distance, because the thing about the Beetle is that, which a lot of people don't know, is that as long as the Beetle is still technically boosting, you cannot drift. It will not react to the secondary movement skill. So you need a little bit of extra runway to demonstrate this. Actually, let me go back into the game here real quick to demonstrate this really quickly. Is as long as I have the boost, like as long as I am boosting, right? I'm gonna try to just drift right into the wall here, going straight. Come on. I'm trying. No, not reacting. Nothing is reacting until the boost is done. But the very moment that the boost is gone, like when the animation stops, 1, 2, 3, easy. Hey, here we go. I counted a little bit fast there, so that turned into a really bad drift. But anyways, you get the drift. Haha, pun intended. There we go. But you have to give it that runway. That runway is crucial for understanding how to get through this raceway in a proper way with the maximized amount of boosts. Right. Right. Slow-mo. This is in 40%. I'm gonna slowly be pausing and doing all kinds of jazz to go through every single detail, every nook and cranny of this race. All right. So at first, like I said, I start off by running just a little bit away. Now I've placed my mouse very strategically over the play button, so that the moment that I race past the flagpole, I can instantly just click. The moment that the UI pops up, click. This is not necessary in any way, shape, or form. The Beetle acceleration is so that you can easily just start right there, boost ahead, and then just wait a half a second before you press play. Anyways, right. Now, even though, as you'll see, even though here the first marker is in between those two, the markers are very lenient in how they will or what they will accept, so to speak, as passing through, right? That's to your benefit. That is definitely to your benefit, because that opens up for less necessity for like ultra precision. So we go through here, that makes the drift, we go through just on the side, that makes this drift much easier to go, because it's not as sharp. And getting that drift, having the maximum speed allows us to get the air time for this little bump in the road. Now for this first jump, I activate my my specialty. I press spacebar again. Like, you don't want to extra jump, because airtime is just killer. Airtime mostly just kills your time. But in this situation, I'm using the trick, like flare, to get extra endurance, because what I want is I want to go full force into the wall. Look at my endurance bar right now, because the moment that I go into that I hit the wall, I've landed, I'm drifting already. I'm going to hit the wall, sliding, and that entire endurance bar is going to fill. That's going to allow me to instantly boost off. Doing filled endurance bar. It's imperative that you get both the flare and the hitting the wall. The power of hitting walls is so incredibly powerful, right? This drift is arguably one of the more tricky ones for most people, because right here you have you have an exploding Halloween head pumpkin, and over here you have another exploding pumpkin, which means you have to go in between those. You have to hit this at the perfect angle to go in between. Now the easiest way, let me just rewind that. Drifting is an anticipatory action. You have to anticipate where you want to go before going, because you have to accommodate for the runway. There's always going to be runway because you're moving at such a high speed. So if I start here, right there, as I hit this marker, as I hit this ring, I start the drift. I press C and I slowly turn my camera. I turn. Right there, I let go of C. I let go of the secondary button. That's gonna shoot me off immediately in between them. I'm not gonna keep sliding. If I let go of the C button, just don't touch it, I will just go forward. The Beetle will keep moving. We hit this little blue thing which recuperates all of our endurance, which allows us to boost right through the middle and easily get this. Now, a lot of people might want to like do an extra jump or try to do a flare, a trick or whatnot in the air here. Do not do a trick here. Don't try to regain any endurance. It's not necessary. You will not need it because you've got a long way around everything where you cannot boost anyways because there's not enough runway. Airtime here is just going to kill your time. So we run through this and here I start drifting. Already here, like I said, it's an anticipatory action. You don't drift at the moment that you want to turn around. You drift ahead of time. Drift, let go. And that lets me go directly forward. That lets me do that super sharp turn. Now here, I'm drifting into this. You'll notice I'll actually hit this pillar, but the Beetle is extremely lenient. I see a lot of people complaining about the gravestones and whatnot. The Beetle is extremely lenient. If you just don't hit it face on at a 90-degree angle, you're good. Doink. I will continue at the same speed. Now, this little piece is slightly tricky. This curve can be slightly annoying because you're coming off of like double drifts all the way through. If you have the speed, what you want to do is, and what I am going to do here, is I'm going to just ram the wall. Hit the wall to get the extra endurance. Drink. I'm now full. If you missed that, look at my endurance bar here. It goes slowly. The moment that I hit the wall, drink, I will regain all of my endurance. It's tactical to hit the wall because of how the Beetle works. It's very important to understand that. That allows me to, right from this point, boost. And I need to boost immediately now because of the runway that I told you about. You have to get out of the drift or the boost animation before you start drifting. And this one is arguably one of the most tricky drifts because it's a double drift, right? So I full speed ahead. Now I have placed 2 markers. As you can see, that's why I have the. It's because I have trouble with this this drift. Now these markers are to indicate the 2 very important haystacks. You want to hit the haystacks. You want to hit either of these 2 haystacks. Now in this video, I don't actually. I miss it, but you want to hit either of these. If you drift right into that, you will not only regain just a little bit of endurance, you will also have the perfect angle without having to like overly like do the drift. Now what you'll see here is I'll miss this one, doink, and I actually hit the scarecrow right behind it, which is perfect because that gives me, that just takes that little bit of speed off, which allows me to go right through the next one and do the double drift. So you drift. That can be tricky for a lot of people. This is just basically slowly moving around the curve here, and then getting the little blue orb to instantly boost across. Now, this next step is, I guess, a point of contention for some, because if you've noticed so far, I have not used my Bond of Vigor. I will now. I will now. Because it's extremely effective. It's not important, but it's extremely effective to have full endurance by the time that we reach the corner in the end. Now, it's not necessary. If you have the speed coming down here, you can drift it and you can run into the final stretch. But what I choose to do is I use the Bond of Vigor right now to not boost immediately. Like I said, everything with the Beetle is an anticipatory action, basically. But that puts me at full endurance right now. What I'm going to do here is controversial, because one of the most powerful things that the Beetle can do, and the most underrated things that the Beetle can do, is that it can almost brake instantaneously. So I'm going to brake. I stop. I just press S. I'm moving backwards. The Beetle, it stops. Whoop. I'm done. That puts me in a perfect angle for right now, just boosting across and getting the necessary runway to easily be able to drift in the next corner. So I actually boost all across these or the corners of these gravestones, because as I said, the Beetle is much more lenient than you'd think. These are basically non-existent. So I get that boost. Now, right there, I'm now out of the boost animation, which allows me to already now start drifting. Boom, I will start drifting right there. That puts me at the perfect angle to then hit, like, go straight into the finish line. Easy final boost, and 49.6. Let me just rewind that just for while we're sitting there talking. It's about Beetle racing is about understanding the limitations and the capabilities of the Beetle. It truly is. You have to know how to regain your endurance. Every single method of regaining endurance: hitting the wall, hitting the airtime, properly drifting. The fact that you do not have to always keep your C button, your secondary mount skill, held down. It's all these little details. Even just braking. The Beetle is immensely susceptible to braking, and even just taking off a little bit of speed. You'll see me do this in a lot of my personal Guildhall Beetle races. In some of the corners, the best action is to just take down the speed a little bit. Tune it down from 100% speed to 80% speed by just pressing S for like a second. It will completely change the way that you use the Beetle or understand the Beetle once that you know that there is, well, it's extremely, well, crazy to use once you get the details down. But then again, that said, rest in peace. Because let's be honest now, who really cares now, right? Who really cares? Let me put this on the screen real quick, because they changed it, guys. They changed the 1 minute achievement. Let's put this on the screen. Here we go. The mark of shame. Here it is. The perfect Beetle time does not exist anymore, right? Because you don't need to use the Beetle. Nobody needs to learn how to use the Beetle, when all you gotta do is use the Raptor. 1 minute and 30 seconds is the raptor speed. Why would you use the Beetle in a Beetle race? Why would anyone want to or need to ever learn how to use the most amazing, the most well-designed and intricate mount of this entire game when you can just be a forum warrior? Why learn to do something new? Why learn to use this amazing Beetle when all you gotta do is go to the forums and complain to Daddy Ain't It? Please, Daddy Ain't It, please make this achievement into a participation trophy instead. Please just kill any sense of incentive that ever existed for this Beetle to exist and have its own little type of rewards, its own little type of time trials, its own little type of adventures. It doesn't matter that we asked you, that we practically begged you. 1 minute 25. That we practically begged you to add adventures for the Beetle. It doesn't matter because we don't actually want it when it comes to it. When it comes to it, nobody gives a shit about achievements. Peace.